Sorry I'm waving things around so much. Sometimes I get nervous and I don't know what to do with my hands. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is How. Today I'm going to be doing a video on my favorite tinted lip balms. I've narrowed it down to my 10 most favorite ones. I'll kind of give you a rundown on the texture of each, the opacity, how long it lasts, packaging, and the shade range. And also, so sorry for the rat's nest in my hair. I guess I didn't comb it or something. And it gets progressively worse throughout the video. I have very pale lips. I'm always looking for a lip color that doesn't just fade throughout the day. My lips are very chapped too, especially in the wintertime. I use the Laneige lip sleeping mask every single night. It is so good for my lips, but even then it still gets chapped. So that's another reason why I love tinted lip balms, because I don't have to worry about my lips peeling or having to pick at them. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you have a lipstick on and then there's little crusties hanging off. It's just annoying. So having a balm and a lip color in one is just amazing. This is in no specific order. The first item I'm going to talk about is the Dior lip glow in the color Mahogany. Love the Dior lip glow formula. It is so balmy and not sticky. The color Mahogany, I think it came out pretty recently, maybe last year or something. I had the original one and it always came up a pretty bright pink on me. Most of the time I really reach for darker colors as of the lip issue that I have of them always being pale. So I like when the darker pigments kind of stain my lips a little bit throughout the day. I'd give it about a 4 out of 5, and 5 is being like really opaque. Anything above 5 would be considered a lipstick to me. Lasts pretty long throughout the day before I have to reapply. The packaging is really cute. I like that it's a traditional kind of bullet style lipstick. The Dior lip glow line has so many colors, and there's a beige one I specifically want to try out. The next one I have is Clinique Black Honey. This one is super popular. I think it blew up on TikTok maybe a couple months ago. I went to get the mini version in one of their holiday sets because it was sold out everywhere and loved it. I understand what the hype is about now. It's honestly the same color as Mahogany. It might be slightly more red and the Mahogany slightly more pink, but they are pretty similar. It's actually the one I'm wearing right now. I just really like the formula. It's definitely balmy, not sticky whatsoever. The opacity, I want to say, is a 3.5 to 4. So I actually liked it so much that I went out and bought the normal size. In terms of long lasting, I feel like it does last pretty long, and when you initially put it on, it's satin finish, but it does dry down to kind of a matte on my lips. With that said, it's a comfortable matte. It still feels soft. It's not drying. I love that it's in that really skinny bullet packaging. Here, I'll open the new one. It's a pretty cute tube. Love that style of just the twist up lipstick. The shade range for this, however, they just have 2 colors. So they either have black honey or pink honey. And I have not tried the pink honey because I don't usually go for the very pinky lips. The Lanolips Tinted Lip Balm. This lip balm is very good. It's a much thicker balm. It's honestly thicker than the Laneige sleeping mask. You can really feel it on your lips. I have mine in the color Rhubarb, and this is the darkest shade it goes. They had this limited edition one called Spice, and I really want it. It's an Australian brand, and I think that in Australia they have different colors more readily available to their consumers, but for the United States they just have 3 shades. Rhubarb is the darkest one. I've tried the other 2 and they are too light on me. They wash me out. I can't do it. The Rhubarb one is a very nice, subtle pink, but what really gets me is the formula because it is so good. My lips feel so nourished after I put this on. I don't even mind the lack of pigment in this product. I usually just wear it when I have no makeup on or just a really simple makeup look on. The packaging sucks. I hate it so much. I don't know if it's because I am am in an area that's always cold, but it is so hard to squeeze this stuff out of the tube. It is on the stickier side, but it's not quite sticky. I hate sticky lip glosses, like the Juicy Tubes. Even the Glossier lip gloss to me feels sticky, and that's like one of the least sticky ones. This is more just thick. It gets a little bit messy, and my dog bit it, so now when I squeeze it, I have to like make sure I cover the holes that he bit, or else it'll squeeze out of like 4 different holes, which suck. So there's that. Honestly, if they came out with a shade that was as dark as Black Honey or Mahogany, I would buy that right away. This lip balm is one of my holy grail lip balms because it has SPF in it, and it's very nourishing, and it is very pigmented. I feel like on the pigmentation scale, it's like closer to like a 4.5, 5. The texture is kind of like chapstick texture, but a little bit more slippery. It's pretty long lasting. I reapply it every couple of hours. I honestly love this one so much. I keep it on my keys. It was the only lip balm that I used for months when I wasn't experimenting with new makeup. I have the Fresh Plum color. Now I have tried the other colors and none of them work on me. Some of them have kind of like a shimmery, shiny color to it. It doesn't look great. It looks like metallic almost. But the Fresh Plum one is amazing. I would keep it on my keys for the rest of my life. And it's so easy to use. I don't even have to think about it. I just swipe it on. The next lip balm that I love is the Honest Beauty Tinted Lip Balm. I have this one in the color Fruit Punch, and I have the color Plum Drop. The texture of this one feels very similar to the Dior Lip Glow. This is actually a pretty good dupe for the Dior Lip Glow. It's the same very balmy, cooling type of texture. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin. I definitely think the Clinique Black Honey is a little bit thinner. On the opacity scale, I'd probably give it maybe like a 3, because you really do have to build it up if you want to get the color that you see in the tube, and even then you probably won't get that exact color. But honestly, I love it for that reason, because it's really easy to put on and you don't have to worry about messing up. It gives a nice tint. I do find myself reapplying it a lot throughout the day. It feels a little on the cheap side just because of the plastic clear cap, but you know, let that stop you from getting it. It's a really good lip balm. Simple design. There's about 6 shades. I usually don't go for the red orange shades because they're a little intimidating to me, but I feel like this one is a really good segue into those more orangey shades. And for Plum Drop, it's a nice kind of a mulberry. I feel like when you think of plum, you think of purple. It's definitely more purple than Clinique Black Honey. Really good shade for the winter and the fall time. This one is a classic. It is the Colourpop Just a Tint Tinted Lip Balm. I've had this one for longer than I should have it, but it's such a nice lip color for me. It's the color in ZBOYS. I have tried some shades lighter than ZBOY, like Give Me S'more or Shaka, and those are way too light for me. It makes me look washed out. It kind of looks like it's sitting on top of my lip. I do really like the texture. It's way better than the Chubby Sticks in my opinion. The Chubby Sticks can be pretty drying sometimes, but it does have the same opacity as the Chubby Sticks. This would be probably a 5, like it's not just a tint. The formula is very creamy, pretty long lasting. It's one of those lip colors like the Black Honey where I'll just apply it and then throughout the day it'll have a really nice faded look, but it never completely comes off. I like this giant crayon-like packaging. And as for the shade range, they have 10 or so shades on their website right now. ZBOYS is still up there. I feel like when they first came out in 2014 or however long ago, they had so many colors, and I just think it's so funny that this color is still for sale. Just shows you how good of a color this one is. The NARS Afterglow Tinted Lip Balm. This one is so nice. It actually feels like the Clinique Almost Lipstick, but a little bit thinner. This one really feels like a chapstick, but a little bit more on the slippery side as well. It's not sticky, and the color that I have is Wicked Ways, and it's this more rich purple color. You really have to apply a couple times to build that color up. Why I chose this color, I don't know. I think I bought this sometime during the fall, so I was like, ooh, good fall color. I don't find that it's a very versatile color. I have my eye on the color Turbo or Dolce Vita. I don't find myself reaching for this one a lot, even though it is a really pretty color. It doesn't match my vibe all the time. It's not too long lasting. It does dry down on the lip. It's a beautiful tube. Really nice. I don't think a tube needs to be this nice, but it is nice when you're using it. You do feel fancy. It's definitely not my like top one, but it is one of my favorites because the formula is really good. Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Tinted Lip Balm. Now I have mine in the color Coconut. I have tried a couple shades that are lighter than this shade. This was the shade that felt like it's blending into my lips and not just kind of sitting on top of my lips. The Coconut shade is described as a buff color, so more of a neutral, a little bit warm shade. Is very comparable to ZBOYS, also pretty opaque. Like I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. Out of all the ones I'm talking about, it is a little on the stickier side. It's not like super sticky, but it is stickier than all the ones that I have mentioned and will mention. I want to say the texture is kind of like a lip mask. When you smack your lips together, it will stick a little bit to separate. This packaging works for what this product is. So this little pump right here, you just do one click and it comes out a little bit on the top and then you can put it on. I like to just pat it on. It deposits better when I pat it on. If I'm swiping it, it doesn't swipe very clean. There are a good amount of shades. It does feel very luxurious and thick on the lips. The EMCosmetics lip cushion. You would think that this is like the Tarte one because of the packaging, and it's kind of similar. It's not as sticky. It doesn't separate as much. It swipes very cleanly on the lips. I want to say it's maybe like a 4.5 in opacity. The Tarte one's a little less opaque, especially if you do more than one coat. I really like the texture. It's very nourishing. It feels nice and thick, but not sticky. It feels like a cushion. That's a good name for it. Kind of just sitting there, hanging out, but also making your lips feel really comfortable. It is a click up instead of a push like the Tarte. The shade range is my only issue. This is the color Venetian Rose. It's definitely more pink than I would like it to be. It's considered a vintage rose color, which is fine. Up until recently, the only shades they had were pretty light shades. They have now come out with two other shades, Mona Lisa, which is a beige nude, and the other would be Van Gogh, which is a terracotta nude, which I'm assuming will look a lot like Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Oil in Coconut. So I am dying to get my hands on that one. I have tried Magic Hour and that even was a little too light for my taste. I wish that they had more deeper shades, more like browns. My last favorite tinted lip balm is the Glossier balm.com. Now this one is very sheer. When it comes out of the tube, it reminds me of Jell-O. If you've ever played with your Jell-O and like mashed it up, you'll know what I'm talking about, but that's what it looks like coming out of the tube. And then it kind of melts into this nice salve. The color is very light. It's probably a 2.5 or a 3. It's a very sheer tint. I love using this mostly when I'm not wearing makeup. It's very good for those days. I wouldn't wear it with a full face of makeup or anything. I just think that it's too sheer for that. I do have to reapply it more often than the other ones. If I put it on right before I walk into a store, at the end of my shopping trip, I will feel the need to reapply it again. The packaging, it's freaking cute, but it's so useless. I hate having to put lip balms on with my fingers. So sometimes I take the top off and I'll just put it on like that, but then it pushes the lip balm down into the little ridges where the cap screws on and it gets messy. And not only that, but the top right here, I've had many balm.coms. If the tip here gets worn out, it will rip and then your lip balm will ooze out of the corners. And that happens more often than I'd like it to. Not a fan of this packaging. I do like the product. As far as the shade range goes for the balm.com, the only shades that I find are wearable as a actual tinted lip balm are Cherry, Fig, which is now discontinued. The Cookie Butter one has a tint. I don't love it too much. I will talk more about the balm.coms in a later Glossier video I'm planning on making, so please stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for staying to the end if you did and watching my video. I really hope that it helped y'all out. As always, if you have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comment box below. I will try to answer them as best as I can. And if this video helped you, please consider giving it a like because that really helps my channel out. And if you haven't already subscribed, then I would love to have you around. I think that is it. I will see y'all in the next one.